ready with me while I tell you about these two fun little secrets from high school. You know, my friend and I were high school seniors, senioritis, already in. So by week 2, like, whether it be my car wasn't starting, we weren't up on time, and just didn't feel like going, whatever the case, we were a disaster, consistently late. But we had this art class every single day at the beginning of our day with a teacher that we have known since elementary. Grades low-key were non-existent. I had already taken this class once, and I don't know, like, there was just not much to do. We didn't really care, so we were late pretty much every single day to high school from like week 2 on. She started buying us breakfast every morning, so not only were we already typically pretty late, but then we would stop at like Tim Hortons or Starbucks. Sometimes we go to like Chick-fil-A, like, you know, whatever was around. I think we've gone to McDonald's before. Like, mind you, our attendance record, technically speaking, was like shit because we were late by at least 30 minutes every single day to this class. Thankfully, that never popped up on our records because this teacher would never mark us late. So this teacher was always saying how she was like on a diet or something all of the time. But as long as we brought her hash browns or coffee or just literally anything from wherever we stopped for food that morning, she would never mark us late. So all she wanted was like one teeny tiny little hash brown, like the little circle ones from Chick-fil-A, and she would be good to go. I don't know how your guys' high schools worked, but we had 9 periods throughout the day, so we were always late to first period. But our 8th period was our last period of the day for both me and this friend that I would drive, because we both had like a study hall at the end. And once you become a senior in our school, if you had a study hall at the end of the day, you could just sign out and leave as long as you were approved for an early dismissal. But because we both had early dismissal, there were some days where we just like did not want to stay whatsoever for 8th period, and I just always had economics 8th period, but I also never wanted to stay. I hated math, I hated economics. Oddly enough, I was good at it, but we would skip our 8th period all of the time. We would leave, and so I would miss so many lessons, and then I would go during my study hall to catch up on what I missed. And despite the fact that I was basically never actually in my economics class, I got 100 on my final, and we had like a final project where we had to like go over what we wanted to do and kind of jobs we would have. Like, I had to take 2 English classes my senior year of high school because I was graduating early. So we were taking like our normal English class, and we also had to take mythology because in order to graduate early, we had to get a full year credit. And if we were only taking half the year of normal English, then it wouldn't count as a full credit. I had already had the mythology teacher though the year before for English, and we didn't necessarily vibe with her. She didn't necessarily vibe with us. Way up until like the last maybe 2-3 weeks, basically a month of high school, her and I had not done practically any of the mythology work. And so when we finally turned it all in, I was just hoping and praying that we would have a good grade, and thankfully we did. So even that is not all that happened throughout our last little bit of high school. I had to take, alongside economics, our last world history class. Now, the world history teacher that we had was also the high school football coach, and so of course that meant that all the guys would like basically suck up to him, the ones who were on the football team at least. He had lost some of my community service papers, so I just had to like hope and pray that they would find them. Also did most of my community service for my brother's Boy Scout troop, and then for my aunt because I didn't have time with work to go do like proper community service. In the same world history class, there were all kinds of people that basically never did their work, and if they did, it was always turned in late, and they were on football teams, they weren't the best in class, blah, blah, blah. And every now and then, there were a few that like I had a soft spot for, so I'd offer to give the answers to. Sometimes they took them, sometimes they didn't. But also this girl in high school, I think during like our junior year, and I blatantly talking about cheating on her boyfriend, and nobody ever did or said anything about it, but basically everybody knew that she did or was currently cheating on him, and I just thought that was really weird. And I'm pretty sure she's going to school for like psychology or something now. I worked 3 different retail jobs, and the first one was at Target, and I worked there for just under 2 years. A lot of my coworkers kind of ended up dating each other, and 2 of the team leads were dating each other. Towards my last year of working there, we kind of all got fed up with how insane it was, and a lot of people started quitting. I will say that for the most part, I liked working at Target. The Starbucks registers were completely down, and they wouldn't let us shut down Starbucks. So while I was watching self-checkout on like a Sunday or Saturday morning, whichever one it was, I was also learning how to cash people out for Starbucks drinks when I had never done it. I didn't even work in the Starbucks sector. Instead of being grateful, we got yelled at for putting up signs to let people know they had to come to the first register to order instead of going to Starbucks. So right before I quit, I got screamed at by my store director for doing exactly what he asked me to do. I graduated early. There were a few people who didn't even know that I actually graduated and just assumed that I dropped out. I liked the same guy throughout all of high school, and all of my closest friends knew, and even some of the ones that I wasn't super close with. All I know is that I think he went on to be like a mechanic or something, and I still to this day have never approached him. Honestly, I kind of regret it. Here is the final makeup look, and those are all of my crazy secrets from high school. So what's your secret?